growth was not due to high-risk trading or speculative investments, but was the result of patient, consistent investing in well-researched stocks she believed in.
She was a Jew, and she absorbed the numbers very well, and she decided that real rich people don't invest in houses but in equities.
And what she left behind is a secret and a joyful surprise.
In 1944, Ann Scheiber was 50 years old, standing at the door of her modest New York apartment. She had recently retired after years of service as an auditor for the IRS. Her career wasn't glamorous, nor did it earn her much recognition. Her total savings at the time of her retirement? A mere $5,000. Nothing in her life suggested she was headed for anything extraordinary. She wasn't a genius investor, nor did she have wealthy connections. No one could have guessed that with such rustic start, Ann would eventually amass a fortune exceeding $22 million by the time of her death in 1995. So, how did she do it? How did a quiet, unassuming woman build such wealth without hitting the lottery or inheriting a windfall? Ann Scheiber's story starts with an understanding of patience and discipline that she had. She was not a Wall Street mastermind, nor she had a big amount salary to begin with. Indeed, when Ann retired in 1944, she had only $5,000 in savings and a pension to her credit. And surprisingly, Ann never even received the recognition she deserved at work. She was a woman working in the IRS. She was never promoted or given a raise even though she was doing her work perfectly. She could easily have been discouraged, but Ann was not a quitter, and she knew she had to do something. Ann wasn't born with a golden spoon in her mouth. She was born an average citizen, and even after she retired, she did not live a lavish lifestyle. Despite her limited income, she had something far more valuable: information. While working for the IRS, she had seen the financial statements of the rich, and she had an understanding of how investments are made. She was not a stockbroker, but she knew enough to make some good decisions. When she retired at 51, she thought of investing in the stock market with her savings. However, she did not invest in the high-growth, high-risk stocks. She concentrated on stable, high dividend-yielding stocks, blue-chip stocks such as Coca-Cola and Colgate. According to CNN Money, when Pepsi-Cola came along, she tried it, says Faye, and then bought PepsiCo when it was the new kid on the block. She chose reputed organizations that had been in business for many years and would probably be in business for many more years. Those companies could not make her rich overnight, but would provide her with a steady income in form of dividends. Now, what are dividends? In simpler words, dividends are cash payouts that firms make to their shareholders. If a person owns shares in a company, they will receive these. It is like a bonus for investing faith in the firm. According to Dividend Growth Investor, Ann's strategy was simple. It was investing in stocks that pay dividends, and then, instead of using the money from the dividends, use those to buy more stocks. One might think that reinvesting dividends is rather mundane, but reinvesting is so effective. When one reinvests, what they are doing is purchasing more shares of the same company that they have invested in. And that means the next time the company pays dividends, they will earn even more because they own more shares. This is known as compound growth, and if sustained over the years, it is possible to transform a small amount of money into a huge sum. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, and Ann knew that better than anyone. Interestingly, Ann's approach was methodical. She did not engage in speculation and buying and selling of stocks in the market, with the aim of predicting the market. Neither she got worried when the market was low, nor she got excited when the market was high. However, she remained humble and continued to accumulate more shares, to reinvest her dividends every year. Another important thing is that Ann was not living the luxurious life. She stayed in the same small apartment for many years. She never went on a vacation and did not have any vices. But that was by choice. Ann realized that in order to be financially independent, she had to give up some things in the present, in order to gain more in the future. Anne got able to build her portfolio in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s. When the stock market crashed in 1987 and billions of wealth were lost for so many others, Anne's strategy was still intact. Why? This was because she had invested in companies with sound fundamentals, companies that would be able to weather any storm and still declare their dividends. And she did not follow the crowd to panic sell. She believed in her investments and remained loyal to her strategy and the companies. In this way, her slow and steady method made Anne to transform her $5,000 into millions. And here's the thing, anyone can do what Anne did. She did not have a financial planner. She was not privy to the information. She didn't have a magic formula. What she had was patience, discipline, and knowledge of how compound interest works. Faye, who was handling the account of Schieber, says that she just held on to what she bought and never sold anything. She believed in those companies. She just stayed with them. She didn't care if the market was up or down. As you know, the world of today is faster than ever before. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants success instantly. It seems quite impossible to imagine waiting for 50 years to get the results. But Anne's story teaches that it is better to take the slow path because slow path proves to be the most rewarding one in stock market. If Anne were alive today, what would she do? She would most likely suggest that one should buy shares in companies with good past performances, avoid speculative stocks, and use the dividends to buy more shares. She would also probably advise to turn a deaf ear to the noise of the financial news, the market crashes, the booms and busts. Her point will be about following your plan. This is especially the case when there is a new trend in the market, such as cryptocurrencies, technology companies, and new businesses. However, the approach that Anne was taking was not about the next shiny thing. It was about creating a strong base and laying the foundation stone by stone and year after year. And the best part? It worked. It was not just that her portfolio increased during normal days. Our portfolio was flourishing during the recession and market crashes. Anne's wealth had grown to over $22 million by the time she died in 1995. But what did she do with it? Anne, who had been so sparing of herself in her entire life, donated almost everything she had. She bequeathed her wealth of $22 million to Yeshiva University and $100,000 to an Israeli education group in the belief that it would be used to assist people to attain what she got, a better life through education. Now, most of the individuals will not be able to live like Schieber did. One might not wish to live in a small apartment for the rest of their life when they have the capacity to afford. It is hard to deny all luxuries. Her move tells an important lesson here. Wealth is not created by the use of all the money one has, or by getting involved in the process of making a lot of money in a short span of time. It is done over time, with a lot of hard work, and with the perspective of the long term. Therefore, what is the greatest lesson to be learned from all of this? It is not necessary to be a millionaire to start accumulating wealth. Anne began with only $5,000. Through wise investments and reinvestment of her dividends, she accumulated her wealth. You can do the same, no matter if you start with $5,000, $500, or even less. The only thing that needs to be done is to start, remain calm, and continue investing. Schieber's story is about the power of consistency. In today's fast-paced world, it's quite easy to get distracted, to look for quick success, or to panic when things go ugly. But what Anne teaches is patience pays off. So, don't forget to stay patient while making investments. Do you have a similar tale to tell? Let's discuss in the comment section below.